All right, good evening, everyone. Pep Man Matt Morrow, Charlotte Football Insiders. Welcome to another edition of Football Focus Weekly. Tonight, we've got another great show on tap. We've got a really good guest that we're very excited to speak with tonight. He's the offensive coordinator for hashtag Dream U from the Netflix series Last Chance U. But of course, it's a lot more than the show. They play some really good football out there. Alex Farah, we're going to be talking to him here in just a second. Of course, we're going to preview the championship games for the two teams here in the Queen City, the Vance Cougars and the Charlotte Catholic Cougars. So a lot of Cougar pride going on tonight as they get ready to take on some tough opponents in the state championship game. We'll take a look back at last week's big games. Some really good football that was being played. Of course, we'll get our slime on as we always do. And we got a couple more surprises in store with our player host coming on here in just a few minutes. Josh Johnson from the RGKL Purple Knights. So sit back, get comfortable. We're going to bring on our first guest. As I said, he is the offense coordinator for Dream U, Independence Community College, out in the great Midwest. And he's also a former Butler Bulldog that some of you guys may be familiar with. And his name is Alex Farah. We're going to bring him on right now. All right, Coach, how we doing tonight?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. I appreciate you taking some time out of what I know is a very busy schedule this time of year.
Yes, sir.
As we were just talking about, I wish we were doing this after a Butler win, but
Yeah.
they got kind of tripped up,
Yeah.
by that team out of Greensboro. We'll talk about it a little later.
Right.
But before we get started, talk about your time, at Butler.
Man, my time at Butler was awesome, man. It was a fun time. That was back when we were just getting the state championships rolling. We hadn't won one when I was there, and that was a big thing for us was winning that first one. And then my junior and senior year, we won two back to back, and undefeated those 2 years. And it was a good time. Played with a lot of really good football players, and played for some of the best coaches, even to this day, that I've ever been around. Coach Newsom was the head coach, and then Coach Hales was my position coach. And those two guys right there are still probably the best motivators and best coaches I've seen at any level, high school and college. And I'm thankful for having been able to have played for both of them and known both of them and still keep in touch with them to this day.
Man, that's awesome stuff, man. I tell you, when them Butler teams got started, boy, I was still coaching. We scrimmaged you guys, and I was like, man, I'll never do this again.
It was fun.
Absolutely, man. So, all right, let's get started with what you're doing now, Coach. So, first of all, of course, everyone thinks about Independence Community College hashtag Dream U from the Last Chance U Netflix series that you guys were on for a few years. So, how, in your opinion, how has that attention from that show helped your program out there?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helped as far as recruiting goes. High school kids got to know about the program a lot more, and obviously on a national level, people knew that Independence existed. Junior college football is something that was kind of underrated and undervaluated, I guess, at the time when the show started, and that definitely helped in that regard. In a lot of ways, it didn't help as well. People kind of got an image of the town and an image of the program that wasn't exactly accurate, just because they've got to make a show. They've got to make it entertaining, and sometimes the truth isn't as entertaining as focusing on some negative things. So it definitely had its positives and its negatives, but it did help with just numbers of attendance for sure.
Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense, man. Because I know some of that stuff gets dramatized, and
Oh yeah,
things get blown up, and they're not really what they are.
right.
Well, that's good though. That's good though. I guess you can kind of say any kind of attention is
It was good attention. Yeah,
right.
yeah, for sure.
All right. So, you guys are a JUCO, kind of program. So in your opinion, what kind of players, in your, just ideal setting would be a good fit to come to Independence and play for you guys?
Right. I mean, obviously, everybody at every single level is just looking for the most talented guys. So that goes without saying. We're obviously looking for talented guys that can play at the Division I level, but
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be more than that. You can't just be talented, because we have plenty of players that come through and don't pan out and don't make it to the level they need to make it to because they don't take care of their business. You got to
Right.
be somebody that's really self-motivated. Going junior college at any junior college. I've been to 2 junior colleges now, and there's a lot of things that are the same across both of them. And you've got to be very self-motivated, because you're going to have teammates that aren't doing things the right way. And you've got to be able to say no to peer pressure and be that guy who's going to be unpopular with your teammates at times, because you're focused on what's helping you, showing up on time to everything, being where you need to be, not getting involved in stuff off the field that's going to hurt you. So you got to be somebody who's got a strong character in yourself, and be able to do what's best for you and keep the focus. Somebody who's got to know why they're where they are, right? Keep the main thing, which is you're here to get out to go to a 4-year school. It's easy to get caught up. Okay, I'm far away from home. I don't want to, be here in the middle of Kansas. It's hard. But why are you here? You're here to get out and go to your dream school out of here. So keep the main thing, and stay focused on why you're here.
Very good. That's a great answer, man. Excellent. So we talked about the fact that you're a former Butler Bulldog. So from Butler, what was your path like to get to where you are now at Independence as the offense coordinator?
Yeah, so coming out of high school, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to work with football because I loved it so much, and I didn't know what path I wanted to take. And then my head coach, Coach Newsom, kind of found out about that and reached out to Mark Spear, who was the outside linebackers coach at
Yep,
Appalachian State at the time.
I remember him.
He reached out to him and he said, "Hey, we got a position up here as an equipment manager if he wants to do that." And I was like, "Sure, why not? See what that's like." And then when I showed up, they were like, "Well, actually, we have a spot open to be a student assistant coach working with our defense, not being an equipment manager." So I took that, worked with linebackers my first year with Coach Dale Jones. Got to learn a lot of football. It kind of set my foundational understanding of football at the college level. My sophomore and junior year, I worked with the D-line, and then my senior year, moved back over working with linebackers with Coach Jones again. Then when I graduated, they asked if I wanted to go work with defensive line or offensive line as a GA, because I had been there for 4 years and shown that I could bring value to the program. So they offered me the GA job, took the O-line GA job, working with Coach Ledford at the time, who's now with the Atlanta Falcons.
Nice.
I was with him for a year, and then Coach Sean Clark, who's the head coach at App now, he got the job after Coach Ledford left to go to NC State, work with Coach Clark for a year. And after that, it was kind of time for me to go learn more than what football was at App. I knew that App runs inside zone, outside zone. They've got play action pass, but if I want to have a long career in football, I need to learn some gap scheme. I got to learn some 7-man protection. I got to learn some more than just 3 schemes.
Right.
I got the GA job over at Texas State. Was over there for a year with Eric Mateos, who's now at Baylor as O-line coach. Got to learn a lot of football from him. A lot of football. Probably one of the best coaches I've ever been around. So was with him for a year, and then it was time for me to get my first full-time job. Went to Glenville State as the O-line coach over there, Division II up in West Virginia. Then last season, I got the O-line job over at Hutchinson Community College, and now I'm over here at Independence.
All right, man. So
long path. for a younger coach, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, it's like we asked that question to every coach that's come on our show, and it's been a similar answer, man. Being open to traveling and taking those jobs that aren't the glory kind of jobs, and grinding, and then working your way up, man. And it's been true for some of the most storied coaches in the game. So definitely admire that, man. That's great stuff. All right, we're gonna bring on a guy that I think our resident coach, former coach, and we call him the engine of the show, and that is our good buddy Kenneth McClamrock. And I know he's got a question or two for you, Coach.
All righty.
Coach, I've got like 3 questions after hearing that, man. I've got so many questions. Like, I text you later on tonight some questions. But what 2 questions I'm going to ask you. Question number 1. So obviously the NCAA has changed where they've given everybody a free year across the board, which has really impacted class of 21 kids and is going to impact 22 kids as well. How has that impacted you guys at the junior college level? Are you seeing greater quantities of quality players? What does that look like for you guys now at
Yeah,
Independence?
it's certainly hurting us and helping us at the same time, right? The thing that's kind of tricky about being a junior college program is not only are you trying to recruit players into your program like every other college program, you're trying to get guys recruited out. So it's actually helping us with the incoming recruiting, because obviously there's a lot of players left who should be having offers and playing at bigger level schools that don't have anything because those offers just aren't out there. But then it's hurting us right now for guys getting out, and our guys right now are getting kind of frustrated with that. And I don't blame them. There's really no easy solution for it. There's just not offers out there right now because it's the spring season and the classes are just all screwed up due to COVID. So it's helping us and hurting us for sure. It's making it a little difficult, like it is high school kids trying to get recruited and get offers, which is why it's helping us on the incoming guys and why there's so many quality players available.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you two more questions, Coach. I've got like 6 of them I want to go, but
No
I know
problem.
Pep will get mad at me if I steal the show with you. So next question. Coach, you have worked with some of the greatest offensive line minds around. I mean, Dwayne Ledford, Sean Clark. Even on the defensive side, Mark Spear. What's a crazy Sean Clark story? And then I'm going to ask one more question. I've heard that your nickname is the Bear.
Yeah.
What's the story behind the Bear? Those are my 2 last questions.
Yeah, as far as the nickname goes, everybody always asks me that. It was just something Coach Jones, who I was working with when I was on defense, kind of gave to me, and it just stuck with me. And it got to the point where so many people knew it. Like, if you ask Coach Clark, ask him about Alex Farah, he has no idea who I am. There was one time I was trying to get a at Florida, and the head coach over at Florida called and was like, "Hey, tell me about Alex Farah, your GA." And he said, "I don't have a GA named Alex Farah. My GA's name's Bear. I don't know who that is." So, yeah, it's just kind of stuck, and I'm just stuck with it. I can't really get rid of it. Nobody really knows my name. Crazy Sean Clark story, man. I really don't have – I probably don't have any I could share. I don't know. I really don't have any.
Understood. Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Hey, Kenneth, you can ask them questions, man. I ain't gonna be mad at you. I like that about Coach Bear, man. I see, I'm a big guy too, man. So that makes you feel good. You got a good nickname, and I just made up Pep Man. That's my nickname. I ain't no real story behind it. So I like that, man. Good stuff. Yeah. Thank you, Kenneth. All right, let's talk about some kids, man. Recruiting wise, we got camp season coming up here in June, and I've seen you guys out on the road. I've seen you guys out here in North Carolina, out here watching and recruiting kids. What recruiting tips would you share for players as they get ready to enter this pivotal camp season?
Yeah, as far as camp season goes, I would say pick and choose to go to camps where they're inviting you to. If coaches are reaching out to you and inviting you to camps, it means they're recruiting you, they're interested in you, they want to see you. You need to go to their camps because those are the schools more likely to offer you. Yeah, it's easy to say, I just want to go to the big camps because they got a nice logo and it's a school I'd like to get recruited by. But now, if a school's reaching out to you, it's more important to go to that camp to get that offer so that they can see you. Because if you just go out there to a camp where they're inviting other people that they're actually recruiting, you're wasting your time because they're looking at the guys that they invited, and that's where they're going to spend their time recruiting them and being with them and all that kind of stuff. The other thing is, too, don't go to too many camps. You go to 4, 5, 6 camps in a week, you're going to be blown out and you're not going to put up good numbers. You're not going to have a good performance, and it's going to hurt you in the long run more than it's going to help you. Yeah, you might be getting exposure, but it's not going to be good exposure because you're not performing to the best of your ability. So definitely don't blow yourself out going to too many camps for sure.
Man, that's some great advice. Well said, man. Well said. Follow up on that, Coach. What do you look for from a kid when you're at a camp and just doing scouting at a particular position?
Yeah, it kind of changes based off position, what you're looking for, size-wise, weight, all that kind of stuff, ability. But there's a lot of things that go across the board at every single position that you want to see. You want to see a guy that is just absolutely hungry for reps. I love when you go to a camp and you see a guy that's cutting people in line to jump up front. There's guys, and then the guys are sitting there taking it, letting them do it. Obviously, that guy doesn't care. He doesn't understand. Like, this is every single rep is an opportunity to get a scholarship and get seen by somebody. So guys are just constantly out there jumping up to the front of the line, competing every single time. Don't get frustrated when the rep doesn't go your way. Guys that finish reps, guys that just stop in the middle of a rep. Well, those are the same guys that are going to stop in the middle of playing a game. There's a lot of things you can tell about yourself as a player from camps and the way you carry yourself at all times, and show some leadership ability too. If they got stretch lines, hop up front, get stuff organized, help out, that kind of stuff. So just the stuff that kind of goes across all position groups is the stuff that's probably more important in a lot of situations.
Wow, that's great. Great tips right there, Coach. Awesome, man. Okay, this is a question I usually don't ask, but I feel like this was a great one for you, Coach. What would you say the best football game as a coach, and then I'll also ask you as a player that
Right.
you have ever been a part of?
Yeah, as a coach, it's probably easy. We went down to Georgia Southern when I was still working on defense at Appalachian State. They were the number one team in the country. Obviously, it's the biggest rivalry game. If you know anything about those two teams, it's a
Oh
huge
yeah,
rivalry. It's dirty, and we went down there. They were the number one team in the country, and it was when they were still running the triple option under center and all that stuff. And we went into the game with one defensive call, and we went down there. We beat them. We beat them, and it was awesome. Their fans rushed the field to go chase the referees out of the stadium. The referees sprinted out of there into a
oh
van.
wow,
It was all kinds of crazy. We were running down from the box. They're throwing stuff at us. It was a great time. It was really fun to be a part of that one.
man, that's awesome, man. So same question as a player.
Yeah, I mean the games that were always the funnest, obviously, were the Independence games. Being at Butler, back then. I
Oh
know it
yeah,
seems like the rivalries kind of changed a little bit, where it's Butler, Mallard Creek a little bit now. But when I sound old, but when I was in school, it was Butler Independence. Butler Independence was the big thing. They want to play at Memorial Stadium, and similar to Appalachian State, Georgia Southern. I mean, it was dirty and it got personal, and those were fun games for sure.
well, it's funny you mentioned that because I think some Independence people still remember that. So we got a couple comments. Yeah, Mark O'Reilly had to put up the big
Yeah,
eye for you, and
yeah,
then
of course.
Miss Karen Belk said, "Go Big Eye." She said she couldn't resist, but
And
so
we didn't lose to them too often when I was there, so I'm not worried about it.
it's funny how things just kind of turned on its head there,
Yeah,
around that time. So good stuff, man. That's awesome, man. And it's a shame, with Memorial Stadium, it's not what it used to be.
right.
Now it's basically a soccer field, and this is a football show. So
Yeah,
I'll just say that's disappointing.
for sure.
All right, man. Well, you guys are in season now. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yep. Got Dodge City this week. Got two more games: Dodge City and Coffeeville.
All right. So I know on the show they really played up that rivalry between you guys and Dodge City. Is it really like that?
Yeah, I mean, Dodge City is. Yeah, I mean, the Dodge City games. It's a good game to have. The Coffeeville one is a little bit more intense, just because we're the only county in the state of Kansas that has two junior colleges, us and Coffeeville. So they're only
Okay.
20 minutes down the road. So that's the big rivalry game. But Dodge is always a good game. It's hard. You go up there. It's probably the windiest game we'll have every year. Hard to throw the football up there playing against 12 because they got the wind on their side. So
Oh, good gracious.
yeah.
So, from an offensive perspective, what kind of system do you guys run? How would you describe your offense there?
Yeah, that's a very popular question. We're a big 11 and 12 personnel team.
Okay.
Number one goal is to always establish the run, big inside zone, outside zone. We want to set up the play action pass to take shots deep down the field as the game wears on. But we're going to be physical up front, and that's where it's all going to start. It's all going to start with the O line. We want to keep things as simple as possible for them, so they don't have to learn too much. So we'll have tags here and there that might change one or two people's responsibility, but we just want to keep it simple for those five so they can play fast and allow them to dominate throughout the whole game.
Yeah, see, that's looking like a true offensive lineman right there, boy. And take care of them big boys, man.
That's
You
right.
ain't worry about all that pretty stuff on the outside.
Yeah.
Nah, we getting nasty. I like that, man. My last question for you, Coach. At the end of the day, what is your ultimate career goal? Based on where you are right now.
Yeah, I mean that's something that's kind of always changing. I just
Mhm.
want to, at the end of the day, I want to be the best coach I can be. I don't know. I'm still young, trying to figure out what is the end goal for me. Just right now, I'm just trying to learn as much football as I can and be the best at what I do right now. And that's what my focus is. The stuff in the long run, it'll take care of itself eventually, one way or another. I'm still a young coach, but I mean, I've been in it for 10 years now at this point since I started out as a student assistant. And the goal, I guess, at the end is always changing based off of life. You never really know where it's going to take you. I've been at the highs and lows of this profession already at a young age, so I know what life is like without it. I was out of it for a year last year when COVID hit, so I know what it's like. But I'm just thankful to be in it right now.
Man, I mean, you're doing a great job, and I mean, to be where you are right now at such a young age, I mean, the sky's the limit, man.
Yeah,
So once again, man, I want to thank you for coming on here with us, and we're gonna keep track of what's going on down there at Indy, and
Yeah, for sure.
hopefully we get to have you back on, back in the fall when Butler's, back on the field and
Yeah.
dominating like they always do.
I'd love to. I'd love to. Yeah. And if anybody listening to this needs to get in touch with me for anything recruiting wise or anything like that, you guys got my contact info on here. So, if anybody reaches out, I'm more than willing to talk to anybody about anything they need help with.
Absolutely. And let me show you Twitter. Wow. What is your Twitter? Let's get that out.
It should just be, I think it's Coach_Bear. I think is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm not a big social media guy.
Yeah, you got a few things to focus on there, Coach. So, definitely understand that. But once again, man, we wish you guys best of luck the rest of the season, and
Thank you.
we'll have you back on here at the fall. For sure.
Just let me know.
Yeah, we'll try to get you on here with Coach Hales.
That'd be awesome. I love
he's
Coach.
He's a pretty good guy. All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, Coach, we got one question here. Let me get this on the screen. They're asking about Nair Clark.
Nair Clark from Vance.
How he's doing out there.
Yeah, man, I love Nair. You talk about somebody who's talented and the sky's the limit for. It's him. Unfortunately, right before the season started, we did 2 scrimmages, and in the last scrimmage we had, he actually got hurt in the scrimmage, and kind of kept him out this whole season pretty much. And with this year being a free year, he took advantage of that instead of trying to put some film, together. Kind of like what I was saying about the kids going to camps, right? You go get blown out of camps, you can't perform your best. Instead of going out there and playing a year where he had a nagging injury carrying on throughout the year, decided to just get healthy and come back for the fall since this year didn't count anyway. But he's a guy that, next fall, he's going to be a big part of every single game plan. Talk about way to get the ball in his hands any way we can, throwing it to him, jet sweeps, whatever it is. He's a guy who can play running back, receiver for us. He's absolutely awesome. He's so talented. There's no telling what he could do in football.
Absolutely. We love covering him and him making big plays at Vance,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Heck of a player.
Yeah. Thank you, Big Carter 17, for that, man. Nice question, man. You got in right at the buzzer. All right, thank you, Coach. We appreciate it, and once again, best of luck to you for the rest of the season, and we'll see you again for sure.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. All right, so that was he goes by Coach Bear, but that was Alex Farah, offensive coordinator for Independence Community College out in Kansas. #DreamU from the Netflix series Last Chance U, most notably. Great talking with him, former Butler Bulldog. We definitely gonna have him back on again. That was good stuff. All right, so we got a few guys here tonight. We're playing a little shorthanded because we got some stuff going on, but it's all good. So we got the engine, as you guys saw already, and then we got the producer. How you doing, sir?
Oh, not bad. He's the engine. What am I, like the alternator or something?
You're the producer.
It's that we've established this a long time ago. You want a different name?
No, I'm fine with it. I just didn't know if everyone had to have a car part. That's all. Okay, producer it is.
All right, and then we've got the illustrious, who I appreciate taking some time out of his busy schedule with the neon going on. Looks like he's playing some Madden, so we may not.
Busy schedule.
Is he in a hookah bar?
I don't know.
I'm in the what you like to call daddy zone, away from his kids. That's when I go high.
All right, so that's who we got, so far tonight. But we got some special things we got to do. So I'll put you guys in the background for a couple minutes because we have our second guest host, player guest host, I should say. Last week, you guys saw we had Jacoby Henderson from the Catawba Ridge Copperheads in South Carolina, who did a great job. Some guys proclaimed him as the most favorite player of Football Focus Weekly. But we've got another guy coming on tonight who we have always said is one of our favorites as well. And I think he's going to do a good job. So let's go ahead and bring him on. We announced it earlier today. That is Joshua Johnson of the Archer Kill Knights. There he is.
Coach? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, man. How you
Good,
doing
good.
tonight?
Nothing, just got back home from a little workout, getting some food and everything.
Okay. All right. Good
Hmm.
stuff, man. So, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining this
Thanks for
interesting
having me
crew.
here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, first off, we know we last saw you, in the first round playoff game against Vance.
Yeah.
You guys, gave him a good fight, man. I mean, you were up 28-16 in the third quarter. Couldn't pull it out, but just talk to me a little bit about that game.
It was a real good game. We started off good. I mean, what really killed us was the penalties. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many penalties we honestly had. But
Hmm.
I mean, we played a pretty good game. I think what really killed us was the pressure on our quarterback because we got one of the best quarterbacks and we got one of the best receivers. But they started getting a little pressure. They started to get a little pressure from the D line, and it just, yeah. I mean, it just that just kind of like shut down our whole offense. So throws weren't getting there, like throws. Yeah, it was just. But we played a pretty good game. I mean, we don't like the outcome, but we fought,
Hmm.
and most of us, I mean, like yeah, most of us fought to the end. So and we did our best. So yeah.
Absolutely. And, I got to commend you guys for your game plan. I mean, a lot of people, were very impressed with how you guys executed against a very tough defense.
I mean, we
Uh,
should have won. I mean, the defense ain't all that, but
okay.
I mean, yeah, I actually had a bet with somebody named Dalik. He said we wouldn't put 7 points on them. So
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
wow.
people were
Okay.
disrespecting us. I can understand, but yeah,
Well, the thing about it is, at the end of the day, you guys showed, the kind of team that you are. The past two seasons, you've done really well. I think overall you've lost what, maybe 3 games in the last 2 years
yeah,
under
11-2. No, we lost four because we lost Olympic this year. So yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah. So four in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. So talk
Yeah,
about, Coach Jocham because he's come in and done an excellent job, man.
I mean, yeah, he's a good coach. He's a motivator. I mean, he gets the team hyped. He makes everyone feel like that. He makes everyone like pushes everyone because you never know when somebody might be an impact in the game. So he makes sure everyone like during walkthroughs, everyone's locked in. Everyone, no matter like if you don't play in the game, if you know what to do on offense, defense, yeah, just making sure everyone's locked in and motivated. That Vance week, oh man, we were on it. I mean, I usually
Hmm.
don't come out in the game or practice because I like getting my reps, but everybody was on it. We worked hard that week. I mean, he pushed us this week, and yeah, so yeah, he pushed us that week, so yeah.
Very good, man. Very good. So since the playoffs, have ended for you guys, what have you been up to kind of just stay ready?
I'm just working out because in a couple months, whatever I do, prep, whatever, I'm gonna have to get straight into in a couple months. So, I mean, this being spring season, you got to get right on it. You don't got no time to break because in fall you could have got like a little break, couple weeks or a month or something, and get right back into it.
Hmm.
But you got to go straight into it because a couple months you're right back at it.
Absolutely. So, I know you're in the you're in the Queen City Senior Bowl.
Yep.
And yeah, after you, you said some things. That's okay. It's okay. Young kids are passionate, and I understand it. Believe me. I
Yeah.
and like I told you, we were gonna find a way to work that
Yeah.
out.
Appreciate you
So
though. Appreciate that.
yeah,
Appreciate
yeah,
it for
no
giving me a
problem,
chance. Thank you.
no problem, man. So, and you're in it with a couple of your teammates,
Yeah.
Quentin McCall and
Brevin,
Brevin Caldwell and Mackay on the defensive
Makai.
side of things.
Yeah.
What can you say about those guys in particular?
Hard workers. Yeah, they're all hard motivators, leaders, great players. I mean, yeah. I mean, this and they Q and Brevin they made this season. I mean, we all ate, so I
Mm,
mean, they have to respect all of us. So there was like, I mean, they can come out and double team one or whatever, but they have to respect all of us. So yeah, it made it easier for all of us, and they had to pick
good
their
deal.
poison who they wanted to. You feel me? Who they wanted to focus on.
Yeah, that was something we had said, from the preseason that, you guys, were going to be a tough offense to stop, for that reason, because each one of you guys, brought different, skill sets,
Yeah.
to the offensive side of football. But let's talk about what your plans are now. Do you have offers being recruited?
Um, yeah,
What
I'm most
are you
likely
kind of
going to
looking at?
prep school this year, semester prep.
Hmm.
Then hopefully I'll get recruited for the class of 22, and I'll be able to enroll in the winter, January, and go
Okay.
off to college.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
that's the plan.
Good stuff, man. All right, so we're gonna test your broadcasting skills tonight.
All right,
I think you're off to a good start, but
appreciate it.
we'll see. We'll see if you can match what Jacoby brought last week. So.
Okay.
All right, let's bring in the rest of the crew because we got some stuff we got to talk about. Okay, so we got championship games to discuss. Well, first of all, before I do that, good gracious, I'm jumping the whole thing right here. All right, so last week we had a couple big games, involving our Charlotte area teams. Vance at Myers Park, obviously a big win for Vance in that one, 42-7. Mr. Illustrious was there, and I know he said he was going to keep his comments brief on that one, but I'm going to give you a chance to talk about what you saw at that game.
Besides the security being like the POTUS was in the building. It was a good game. I got some two players from my park got my respect. I had to eat crow about two of them. That corner number 6 and the kid from Texas number 7. Man, them boys are some dogs. That scoreboard really don't reflect it, but that Mark Park deep, them two right there, they were pretty stood out as well. Them two defensive, them interior D linemen. Thank you, Coach Jupiter, over there, Hickory Ridge. He was giving a lot of insight with a lot of good stuff. I think Hollywood showed the whole world why he is the best sophomore running back in the nation right now. That kid is a talent. KC, Vance has the best sophomore class I don't see in a long time. Them kids are very dynamic, and you don't really see it. And then, number 2 from Myers Park, the way he was affecting the defense a little bit, it was good. Like I said, it was a good game, but when Vance got that kickoff return for a touchdown, I said, it's a wrap. The momentum just went, and then the Vance defense started playing. Their defensive line is probably the best defensive line in the state. I know Josh said the defense all right, but let me tell you something. Nobody get pressure like Vance, and that's just me being honest. It seemed like they took it a little easy on us when they played West Charlotte. But Lord Jesus, guy, when they woke up, they made that quarterback from Myers Park look pretty freaking good. They made him look average, so that tells you a lot. And like I said, it was Hollywood. It was the Hollywood show on offense. It was like, what you gonna do?
Yeah, that's some good stuff, man. So Caleb Weaver, number 7, the corner, is in the Queen City Senior Bowl. We'll have an interview with him coming up here in the next day or two.
And he didn't play corner. He didn't play corner that game. He played middle linebacker.
Oh wow.
That's what I'm saying. He earned my respect that game.
That's an interesting transition.
Nah, they moved him into the middle a lot of you see a lot of these DBs like Vance, Mike linebacker. He ain't Jalice, but number 9, he's not a linebacker. He's a safety, and he's just a dog right there. If you're a dog, you play in the middle. That'll tell you, you got the personnel, you got the attitude to play right there. You can play right there, and he was out there. Whew. Like I said, it was a good game. It was just, it got good. Hollywood was being Hollywood. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, he's been picking up offers from about every Power 5 school in the nation, it seems like. He just got one from Florida State a few minutes ago, as a matter of fact. They go with Tennessee earlier today, and then all the other schools that have been reaching out. And
then I think the last thing I would say, I think we all got to start putting a little respect on the Vance offensive side, the offensive coaches. We always talk about Coach Hackett, but Coach Lash and Coach Hugh over there, they're doing a great job. That 2-headed monster over there, it's getting ugly over there, and that O line is clicking now. shout out to them guys. That's what y'all saw the picture Coach Q put on Twitter. That was the conversation. They was yelling, "I better get my respect on the show on Wednesday." So there's your respect. But it's that whole coaching staff and them kids. We all talk about how aggressive they play. That's one of the most well-disciplined teams I've seen in a while. Like they'll run when they score. That's what they're supposed to do. AK made me mad last year when we played them last when I was in Providence. They scored. They ran up and down the damn sideline every time. I was about ready to throw my shoe at them. But I understood. And when you love each other, it's beautiful. So that's why I respect Josh and them. But but Vance, that's what it is. They really genuinely love each other. And they battle with each other during the week. So it's not me, just saying, hey, these are my guys, they're that good. No, I really respect how them kids play. You go to their practice. I tell everybody, if you think I'm riding that coat, go to Vance practice. Them kids are fighting each other, battling with each other. And then Friday, before the game starts, they're yelling words of confidence, words of battle, words of like you're like, whoa, I know y'all have my back. Let's give it for 4 quarters. You're like, you don't see that a lot no more in football, and it's well refreshing. So that's how Coach Furby and their staff preaching them kids. It's just a family. So you got to respect that about Vance.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, shout out to Coach Q and Coach Lash. Absolutely doing a great job with that offense. I love some of the concepts they run. I love how they change tempo. I love how they get the ball to their guys in space real quick. And it stresses the defense from sideline to sideline. They attack all areas of the field. And when you got the guys to do that and, the talent to do that, it's really, really impressive for sure. Anyone else had some thoughts on Vance and Myers' part?
Well, typically you say you want to play your best football in late November. This year, of course, you want to play your best football going into May, which sounds so strange, but there's no doubt that Vance is hitting on all cylinders right now. Seeing them earlier in the year versus seeing them versus Huff, it was night and day. Those guys are so much better. They're so much more physical. It feels like the coaches have a better feel for the guys that they have. Earlier in the year, you're still trying to figure out who is who and where goes where, and you're whatever. It just feels like they're hitting on all cylinders, and I think they're gonna have a really good weekend this week.
Absolutely, man. Producer, you sent me the highlights from Vance and Myers Park. What could you take from those highlights?
Just honestly, just going by what I've seen for Vance this year so far, having been to quite a few of their games, and still knowing how good Myers Park is, I can't say I was surprised about the result. And that's not a dig against Myers Park. That's just knowing how well put together and coached Vance is on both sides of the ball. And I echo Billup's sentiments about Hollywood. That offense really runs through him. You can tell. So he is sort of the catalyst that gets them going. And that highlight package, I think you definitely showed that. So nothing. I wasn't shocked at all, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, Hollywood's getting a lot of attention and deservedly so as one of probably the best sophomore running back in the nation. But they got those other guys over there. Sonny Allen, number 21, who we interviewed a couple weeks ago, is a major threat. And then number 5, Joseph Morris, who's been doing it since his sophomore year.
And he was the starter last year.
Yeah.
That's crazy part about it.
I mean, 2 guys that would probably be 1,000-yard rushers at any other school in the state. Forming a 3-headed monster in that backfield is just, really tough to stop. But
depth is definitely on their side. You can tell their depth. Even if one guy goes down, you take one guy away, you take away a receiver, they got someone else that's going to step up. So, the depth is nice to have like that.
And then we're not even mentioning Kevin Concepcion. I mean, what a dynamic threat he is on the outside. And, he just got an offer from Boston College himself. So, it's hard, man. You got to really pick your poison on, what you're going to try to stop, with those guys. And the big guys up front, that offensive line, are the ones that make it happen. So, well said, Billups, on the offense getting some love because they are doing a heck of a job.
You know, as defense coach, we don't talk well about offense players.
So, yeah, I know. Josh, from a player perspective, who do you respect the most? On that Vance team.
Um, ooh, those running backs are really good. I'll admit it. They got some explosive running backs. I mean, obviously number 3, the sophomore, but even Joe, he's explosive too. They just be bouncing off tackles. I'm just like, what's going on? They just be bouncing off people. It's crazy.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that, man. And Josh, we got a couple comments about you. I'm gonna throw those in here. Miss Moten, who watches our show all the time, is very excited to see you on the
Mr.
show.
Moten.
Yeah, yeah, she's one of our favorites.
So,
And
Mr.
then
Moten.
we got Mr. Curtis right here, who's very excited to see you as well.
Mr. Curtis, how you doing?
So, you got some fans on here, man. That's good stuff.
Hey, Webb said you gave him a 1-day contract.
But more on that Myers. Huh?
Webb said you gave him a
Who said
1-day
that?
contract.
Give me, Billups, give me a second. Josh, go ahead and finish your thought. Finish what you were gonna say, man.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected it. I mean, I've seen Myers in a close game with kind of not so good team like Indy. I think Indy was up on them in the first half. They're competing with Porter Ridge. I mean, I kind of knew it was gonna happen, and I mean, Vance got some good players, so I expected it. Really, to be honest. I mean, we were supposed to be playing Myers, but yeah. I mean, yeah.
I get it, man. That's a tough pill to swallow. All right, so Coach Weber, we got a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. You can blame me. I said,
what's Coach's bad?
That he was on the show last week, Josh. He's a little disappointed that he's not on here tonight, but that's okay. That's okay. We gotta. Football Focus Weekly ain't going nowhere. You'll be back, Coach. Don't worry. But good observation right here.
The
Big
new
Vance.
generation. Sorry, Coach.
See, I like Josh. That's good, man. That's good. So good observation right here, though. Big Vance and the Big Dance again, playing against kids all over the world, win with homegrown talent. So.
Oh Lord. Oh, that's where.
Yeah.
Come on, he said homegrown.
Oh, okay. All right.
Come
When
on.
Now they do have homegrown talent. They
Hey,
do.
Webb. Hey,
They do.
Webb is related to. He's a good friend with my brother-in-law, and my brother-in-law told me all I needed to know about Webb, and I bust out laughing. He's a funny guy. That's him to the T.
All right, so let's talk about Butler Grimsley. So me and producer were at this game. Producer, I'll let you go first with your thoughts.
Man, if you think about it, it's one Butler I know they wish they could have back because unfortunately we watched Butler lose a winnable game. I know they wish they could have that one back. Played with heart, played with determination. Defense made a lot of big plays. Offense made some plays where it counted, but some questionable things at the end there sort of led to their demise. But definitely a winnable game. Definitely a great season on their part. When they wish they could have back, unfortunately. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But definitely a good game. They played with heart. They didn't fold, and that's oftentimes what matters.
Yeah, man. I mean, Butler was up 21-7 in the third quarter of that game, and the one thing that I commend is Grimsley. Grimsley could have started to roll down and tuck their tail and give up, but they didn't. They came back. They scored 2 touchdowns on successive drives in that third quarter to tie it up at 21. And that right there showed me, this team is real. This team is real, man. And, they deserve to be where they are. I'll tell you, the quarterback, Alonzo Barrett, I believe is his name. What a player, man. He's only a junior, but, I mean, really good size. And Brandon, we were commenting that they run like a West Coast offense, and
Yeah, a lot of
and,
short plays. And he did a great
yeah.
job of keeping things alive with his feet. And so that's I know I said Butler would like to have that one back, but I still got to give credit where it's due to Grimsley for, like you said, they could easily just turned it in.
Mhm.
They were down by 2 touchdowns. The momentum was definitely swinging towards Butler, but they kept fighting. So I got to give them their credit due as well. And yeah, the quarterback, he definitely. You almost who I can't recall who they're playing. I think it's Gibbons in the
Yeah.
title game. They
Mhm.
got to spy him if they want a chance, because even when things break down, he's gonna get out of there with his feet. So if they don't spy him, they're gonna have a long day.
Absolutely. So, some details are being shared in the comments that, we're going to get to. Butler in that fourth quarter, they played that game in Grimsley territory that whole fourth quarter. You got to shout out Grimsley's defense for what they did, man. They put Butler out on downs a couple times, forcing them a punt. Butler missed a field goal that could have gave them a 3-point lead. And then at the end, with 30 seconds left, they tried the fake punt, didn't work. And then that next play, Grimsley completed that little out route, missed tackle, and they scored a touchdown, because of that. So the big thing about that, was, you just don't expect those kind of things to happen. With a team like Butler, with the pedigree that they've had, they've been in those, kind of big games. But once again, that's high school football, man. It's high school football. My heart hurts for those Butler seniors, quarterback Parrish Metzger, Jake Snap at the receiver position, Davion Nelson at the running back spot, AJ Starks on defense, Garen McDougald, Donovan Woods, some really talented kids on both sides of the ball for that team that played their heart out. Coach Hales made a great post on Facebook talking about how that team in particular restored his love, for the game. It was very, very poignant. And if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest you go. I shared it on a Charlotte Football Insiders Facebook page. Check that out because it's really, really pouring his heart out there for his kids and himself. So really good stuff, man. All right, so you guys got some thoughts on Butler and Grimsley?
You said it all, man. I feel bad for him. I saw the play, so
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad, and I talked to a couple of the coaches, so stuff like that happened. But great season, man. Great year.
Absolutely, man.
I hate it for my guy, like you said, Parrish. Parrish, my guy, Parrish and Snap. But hey, it happens.
Kenneth, were you gonna say something?
Only that, kudos to Coach Hales and his staff. They had an incredible season. Kudos to Coach Hales for going for the fake punt late in the game. I would assume that it was something that they had drawn up a long time, that they had been working on for weeks. My guess is that the kids were calling for it, either from the field or in the huddle, and that Coach believed in his kids, man. And there's something to be said about a high school football coach who believes in his kids, and when it's nut crunching time, that does what the kids want him to do. It didn't go their way this time, but what a great season. We've talked about this all year. Butler is one of those teams that everyone forgets about how good they are because they're so consistently good every year. They don't do it with all the flash. They don't do it with all the social media hype. They just freaking win football games and pound the football down your throat.
Absolutely. Well said, man. All right. Let's see. We got a couple comments. Oh, go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Also, I feel like it was a crazy game. Butler, they got some good players. I mean, I know Coach McFadden, the offensive coordinator. He's a really good coach. They got that running back from Independence, too. He's a beast. To me, he's the best running back in the state, to be honest. Him or number 3 from Vance. And they got Jake over there. I just seen him last week 2 weeks ago, jump over somebody from Prague. Yeah, they got some good players over there. It sucks. They had it in the bag, but you feel me? They fumbled it. It was a Providence, but
it was. I was there.
The most overrated team in North Carolina.
Oh my goodness!
Wow. Oh, wow. That's the energy we bring in, Josh?
They gave
already
up
do.
19 the whole season before they played us. We doubled it.
Wow.
Come on now. I scored more
Everybody
than
come
that
back
whole
to
team.
Woodward.
Come on now.
Why do I feel like these are going to be played in the locker room next season somewhere?
Hey, I'll tell you this from somebody who's been on the other side. The energy, that Providence versus AK energy is real. They don't like each other. It's real. There's nothing nobody can say nothing nice about either. It is real. Like I can talk nice about AK now, but they get mad when I say, "Man, such and such is good at AK." No, they not. They all terrible. I'm like, "Hey, man, it's just a game to me."
Wow. All right then. Well,
it's legit. It's legit. Hey, Pep, you been at AK Providence game?
I don't think so.
You need to go to one. It's legit. It's hate week. It's on both sides. It's legit.
Yeah, they call it Purple Hate Week for a reason.
Yep. They feed off of it. It's not a very. I used to tell kids, hey, don't do that.
Big dogs.
Yeah, it's a bad week. If you coach at either other school, you gotta tell them kids watch what they say because it's some crazy stuff. That's a crazy week.
All right, so Josh is a senior, so I guess he can say that now, and they won't come after you. So there you go. All right.
Yeah, I mean if they do that, they can bring it. I don't care. We can bring up the stats, whatever.
See, there you go. See, look, it's legit. And the bad part about one of my best friends coach at AK now. One of my best friends coach over there. I had to warn him. Coach Holmes. Coach Holmes, this was his first year over there. He coached O-line. I said, hey, it's legit, man. Y'all, they don't like Providence. And he was like, I see.
All right, so we got one more game to look at real quick. So Catholic defeated Monroe 24-14 to move on to the 3A state title game this week against Havelock. You guys got any thoughts on that one?
Catholic just always finds a way. Somehow, some way, man. Doesn't matter. They always find a way.
Well, I'll tell you this. They got up in that game pretty comfortably. And it started out kind of like the first game where they were able to control the line of scrimmage, run the football really well between Neil, the running back, and then the other kid, that number 2 that we've been talking about, coming in and doing a good job. And defensively, they didn't let Monroe get off on that vertical passing game that we were talking about until late. I think they hit maybe 1 or 2 late to make the score a little closer. But overall, that's what Catholic does, man. You try to run that vertical game against them, and I know they got some defensive linemen that'll get after you, and they sit back in that cover 4 and they just let you come to them. And then they just make, plays on the football, or they're going to, pressure you and get sacks before you can try to take advantage of your athletes on the outside. All right.
Nothing else to say. They won. Hey, I had to take my comment back, but hey, Catholic. Hey, I'm on the Catholic bandwagon now. Hey, great job.
Absolutely. All right, we got some comments here that we're going to share. Let's see here. Harold Griffin Jr. says, "I agree. Grimsley didn't quit and kept fighting. Yes, they did." Oh, number 2, Travis Shaw. Good gracious. What a player. I see why he's a 5-star guy. 6'6" D tackle. They put him out at defensive end sometimes. And Butler, was trying to get him on the backside stuff, counter and misdirection, and he stayed home every time and was making plays in the backfield, and he did a heck of a job, man. Super impressive kid. Deserves all the accolades that he's getting.
Yeah, he's legit.
Yes. Let's see here. Miss Burlow's Josh. They say you're not on the bus, so that's pretty obvious.
Not on the bus, of course not. Actually, what happened after the game, their bus actually broke down at our school. So yeah, it literally broke down. No, I'm so serious. The bus literally broke down.
I'm tired.
I'm serious.
I'm
I'm
tired.
so serious. You can ask anybody.
Oh,
Their
boy.
bus literally broke down.
Oh,
It was there
Lord.
the next day.
Josh, you ain't have to share that, man.
He's terrible.
You have to share it.
He is terrible.
Hey,
That's why I like him.
you know, when make sure y'all guys remind me to share something from Coach Woody wanted me to share. I can't share it right now, but just remind me before we end the show to do that. Because we got to balance out this Providence hate with some Providence love. It's only the right thing to
Hey,
do.
I ain't got no hate for I love him, but hey, look, he's terrible though. He's terrible.
So, Markel Riley says Josh is definitely invited to the cookout.
I appreciate that.
And Coach Weber likes you as
Thank you,
well. Said
appreciate
Josh
that.
can be a Shelby kid. I like him. And then Miss Burlos follows up,
Shelby,
says
cool.
I love
like that, appreciate
Josh. So
Thank you.
Josh, you getting a lot of love, man. You getting a lot of love. I mean, I don't know. We have to follow up with
Appreciate
Jacoby.
the love. Thank you.
You might be more loved than our first player host. So
Might need a little
check on
check,
that.
Coach. I might need a little check. You feel me?
This is who he is.
See, let's establish something right now. So Football Focus Weekly does not have the budget that other shows have. So
This dude is
we
terrible.
if you drive, we may be able to give you some money on our CFI gas card, but that might be
Good
the
luck
best
with
we
that.
can do.
Maybe like maybe a Chick-fil-A gift card.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, wait a minute. Wait, I still got that $15 Church's Chicken gave me. Y'all remember that? I'll give you some Church's Chicken. We can do that.
he's
All
serious.
right, man. Appreciate it. They biscuits are pretty good. Those honey biscuits.
Yes. And yes, Billups, I am serious. We ain't got nothing else.
I know we only got a gas card.
Like you say,
We told you.
I've been submitting my redeemer per the app for 2 weeks.
No, you haven't.
listen, man. $15 at churches will feed 10 people. It's good.
Spent that the last week after you sent me to that hostile environment. They made at that hostile environment at Mark Park, man. They made me get a DNA test and everything.
Well, you know why, and we ain't gonna say no more about that. So there you go. All right.
And I did have to make sure I did not high step up the sideline. I did have constant 24 hours security on me at all times at the game. I was on my best behavior.
Oh man, good gracious! All right, so let's take a look at championship games. So first off, we're gonna address. All right, hold on 1 second. All right, so we got Vance taking on Roseville, and one of the things we always talk about. Let me switch my banner here. This is the Blitz. So one of the things we talk about all the time in these championship games is, number one, why is it always in Raleigh or Chapel Hill or Durham? Why can't they make this a more equitable location, man? Why we always got to go all the way up there? I mean, Roseville is probably, 15, 20 minutes away from, NC State where this game's being played. They're going to have a whole bunch of people there. And we got to drive 2 hours and 34 minutes because I mapped it out because we're going to get there right before kickoff. And we got to drive all the way up here to cover this game. So, number one, Roseville is going to have a built-in, home field advantage like the East teams always do. But, the main thing here is, Roseville has a very, very dynamic quarterback. And we have seen dynamic quarterbacks that can run and pass, give defenses trouble. And, Vance is going to have a plan for that, for sure. Conversely, Roseville, I don't know if they've seen a team that has, the kind of athletes that Vance does on the offensive side of football. So you start looking at keys, for this game. Does Roseville have the ability to make plays and win on the outside in one-on-one matchups? Because, to Josh's point earlier, RG Kell had the guys on the outside to give, Vance problems in those one-on-one matchups, and they were able to win. And, put up some points because of that. That if Roseville has any kind of chance in this game, they're gonna have to make those plays. And I know they got some athletes up there, but we saw they were in a real tough game last week against a Wake Forest team that's a traditional power. But it was the second time they faced Wake Forest this season, and to Wake Forest's credit, they played a lot better, and they took that game into double overtime, I believe, before Roseville won. So, what are our thoughts on that, guys?
Hopefully that quarterback for Roseville is recovering. That's the one thing I heard. He got banged up in that game. And he's not 100%. That's gonna be a tough game. I haven't watched the film. Usually I watch the film. I've been dead mode all week for some odd reason. I've been going crazy this week. But Roseville, they say they got some good receivers, but like I said, I don't think nobody played defensive front like Vance. So that's gonna be really tough because Swindle and Pierce, they're tough, and then just a lot of speed on that field. Like Coach Harmon said, that's probably the fastest team he's seen all year. And they're pretty fast, so I don't, they got it's a real tough game. Me and Hackett were talking, and it's just all about that quarterback. He's really good, but his will, you got bad will, and you are running quarterback. That's tough. So I don't, I'm curious to see how well he's going to be. You like how I did that?
Sorry about that, man. I had a call I had to take real quick. My bad.
But you saw how I was like, I sat here. I'm about to turn my 2K game on. Let me see him playing 2K right now. I'm trying to go back to my game, but hey,
All right, so if that quarterback is hurt, it's gonna create some issues for Roseville for sure, because you don't want to walk into a championship game not at your full strength at all.
I know what will happen if they go in there with their backup quarterback.
Hey.
I know exactly what happened. It's gonna be a long day.
Yeah, I feel like Vance finna just roll right past them. I'm sorry. Vance finna roll right past them.
So I'm gonna assume that everyone here likes Vance to win this game, right?
Yeah.
To roll past Rose.
Roll right
All
past.
right. Well, let's do this. I'm gonna pull up some stuff on Roseville, just to kind of balance this out a little bit. So on the season, they're 9-0, and they're coached by a guy that I've faced before. And I'm gonna mute that microphone. Give me 1 second. They're coached by a guy that I know in Martin Samick, who is he's a really good guy. He's coached at some really tough places throughout his career, but he's done well overall. No matter where he's been, it's taken a couple years to kind of turn around some situations, and I really commend that guy, because he knows what he's doing on the football field. That's for sure. So the young man we're talking about at the quarterback position, Byron Brown, number 17, 6'4", 195, impressive size. I know with that kind of size, he's got to be getting a lot of love in the recruiting circuit. Thrown for 1,879 yards this year, 20 touchdowns against 7 interceptions, completing 53% of his passes. He's obviously a dual threat guy. He's rushed for 602 yards and 10 touchdowns. So, we talked about that dual threat ability. It's going to be a big thing that Vance is going to have to try to curtail on the defensive side of football. And then they've got a threat at number 7 at running back, Mr. Dunn, who's rushed for 759 yards and 9 touchdowns on the season. Also a junior, first name Devon Dunn. He had 87 yards last week on the ground and 2 touchdowns on 23 carries against Wake Forest. Their big receiver, by far, is number 8, Cyrus Rogers. 45 catches on the year, 616 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns. He had 4 catches last week against Wake Forest. 6'2", 170. I know the Vance defensive secondary will be targeting him and try to eliminate him as a threat in the passing game. And then you look at these guys on defense. Looks like Mr. O'Brien, number 35, is the leading tackler. He's got 84 tackles on the season. And that's Caden O'Brien, 6'1", 240, middle linebacker. So obviously that Vance offensive line is going to be keen on this guy every time they break the huddle, seeing where he is and accounting for him. Oh my goodness. They got a guy that can get to the quarterback for sure. And Ja'Cory Bible, 6'3", 185, outside linebacker, has 13 sacks on the season and 21 tackles for loss. So that's an impressive player right there. You're going to have to account for in pass protection. And one of the things that Vance does on the offensive line, they did a good job with this in their second matchup against Huff. They moved some guys around to try to eliminate the biggest threat, from a pass rushing standpoint. And I don't think we've talked about this too much, but in that second game, Curtis Neal, wasn't as, dominant as he was in that first game. And a big reason for that was they moved Jonathan Cannon, an impressive offensive lineman, around, and to help protect Austin Greer in that passing game. So I expect, for wherever number 11 Bible lines up, I expect, the Vance offensive line to either slide protection his way, or they're going to, put their best guy against him and try to eliminate that and let the other four guys do what they do best up front. So just a little bit from the other side right there. We all know, about Vance. So I wanted to share, some impressive guys on the Roseville side of things. To just kind of give everyone an idea of what Vance, is going to be facing. All right.
more what Roseville's going to be. I'm just telling you, it's no shade. I'm not talking junk, but they had not. That pass rush is different. I'm sorry. It's like if you look at Roseville's conference. Wake Forest they gave him good games. Who all in it? I forgot who all in that conference. Wake Forest the one who pushed him a little. Push him. Who's all in there?
Yeah, I'll give you that in 1 second.
I tell everything I need to know.
All right, so this year they faced Rocky Mount, Wakefield, Knightdale, Heritage, Corinth Holders, Holly Springs in their conference. No, Holly Springs was a playoff game. I'm sorry. So those first 6 were their conference games.
Oh Lord, yeah, they in trouble. And that's not like everybody. They get in a tizzy when we say stuff, but you have not. Charlotte football is different. And you got to come with it. So I'm sorry. Hey, best of luck to them. Hey.
Well, to your point, they gave up 35 to Wakefield early in the season. They gave up 20 to Knightdale, 21 to Heritage, 30 to Hoggard, who's a well-coached team.
Yeah.
And then, the 21 in double overtime to Wakefield.
Knightdale's all right, though. They all right.
Knightdale?
Yeah, they all right.
Yeah, they were 4-3 this year, so they were 31 to 20 games. So, but yeah, to your point, we talked about
31 to 20. They beat them 31 to 20.
Yeah.
Woo.
Oh,
Big
we got
Vance.
Coach Powell. What's up, man?
Man, that man just.
Hey, did we win? Hey, did we win, pal?
Man, we finished up a long day, man. It's just.
Okay, there you go. Hey, there you go. That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say, pal. There you go. Pal, that's all you got to say. That's why you been gone.
Okay.
Hey, Billups, I'm gonna be like you. I'm going to get a haircut tomorrow, so I can regroup and start over tomorrow.
You see, I had to. I had a bad day Tuesday.
Oh man. All right, so one of our favorite, Markel Riley, Vance by 40.
Lord, geez, hey, I don't know. It might be.
Nice.
They down, man. Hey, upside down this year, man. I'm sorry.
Good gracious, boy. Oof. All right. Well, we'll do predictions here in a second, but we got to
He
talk
said,
about.
"Oh Lord, defense sound bad." Oh, my man said 70. Woo!
Yeah. We'll do predictions here in a second. So we got Catholic as well. Catholic is going to take on Havelock in their state championship game, and I tell you, this Havelock team.
Yeah, that's gonna be a
Um,
good one.
yeah. You talk about an offense that is fun to watch. We featured the Havelock quarterback earlier this season as one of the players of the game when we were, kind of doing that segment on a regular basis. Um, Let me get to his stats here real quick. Yeah, he's only a sophomore, and he's impressive,
What?
man. Andrew Frazier. Andrew Frazier has 30 touchdowns against 5 interceptions throwing the football, and he's thrown for 1,881 yards. Heck of a football player, man. Really impressive. 6 foot 190. He's fun to watch, man.
Hey, who's in that conference?
Let me get to the schedule. All right, so they've played Northeastern. Oh no, that says non-conference.
Oh Lord, I'm about to say. Oh,
Hold on. Let me get to the conference games. Okay, West Carteret, White Oak, Northside, Jacksonville, Swansboro. Jacksonville's a good team.
Jacksonville don't there. I was about to say that's the good team.
Yeah, they beat them 41-14 this year.
Okay, it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some other standouts for Havelock. They got a couple guys at the running back position that are really talented, both seniors. Kamaro Edmonds, I've heard that name before. 5'11", 200. He's rushed for 916 yards on the season, 15 touchdowns. And then they've also got another senior, number 24, Jalen Budget. Looks like he plays both sides of the football. He's rushed for 812 yards and 10 touchdowns. So, that's a dynamic offense, man. You got almost 2,000-yard rushers right there, and then Frazier, putting up almost 2,000 yards passing. I mean, that's tough. That's some tough stuff, man. Definitely impressive. Receivers, their big receiver by far is number 1, Cameron Hoover, 5'10", 165. He's got 50 catches for 852 yards and 8 touchdowns on the season. That's going to be a guy that Catholic is definitely targeting in their defensive schemes. And then defensively, every time we talk about Catholic, they have faced some dynamic offenses. They just faced Monroe, so I know they're not scared of a dynamic offense. But can the defense slow down this Catholic running game? We got a couple guys on the defensive side that have 90-plus tackles. Number 10, Marcus Gatling, middle linebacker, 5'11", 210's got 94 tackles on the season. It's going to be a big part of trying to slow down that running game for the Cougars. And then the other dynamic player for the Havelock defense, let me get back to that screen, is number 3, A.J. Moore, 6 foot 230 linebacker. He's got 90 tackles on the season as well. So they got 2 really good linebackers that are seniors. They're going to have to, really plug and flow well in that run game. So that defensive line is going to have to do a good job keeping those guards and tackles coming off second level, in that Catholic, run-based attack. So, but, to everyone's point, you can always put pressure on, Catholic offensively. So if they're able to score and get out to a lead, that's what you want to do. You got to make Catholic play outside of their comfort zone, if you're going to beat them. And a lot of teams, have said that, and a lot of teams have failed at doing that, for sure. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Nobody counted Catholic out. We already know that. That's a tough team to play. That winning team, boy, it just don't. Hey, and they defense, they gonna play fundamental football. That's all it is. It sounds like it's gonna be a good game, but can they score? And can they stop Catholic? That's the answer right now. And right now we saw a high power, Monroe team. They was in the play. They were hot, and Catholic cooled them off. So hey, I don't know. I had to eat crow.
The big thing with Catholic, excuse me, is the linebacker Liam Barbie, who we interviewed early in the season. Um, great 3 down linebacker, middle linebacker for that team, and you know he's the guy that really makes that thing go for those guys. And when you're placing a team like Havelock, who's dynamic, running and throwing the football, he's going to have a huge game. For Catholic to pull that victory off and slow down a dynamic offense like Havelock has. A couple comments. Thank you for this, guys. Kamaro Edmonds as a UNC commit. I knew I heard that name for some reason. So that tells you right there, the kind of dynamic players that Havelock has, for sure. So I think this is going to be a great game. This game is Friday night. The Vance game is Saturday night at NC State. I believe Catholic's playing Friday night. I think they're at NC State also. 7 o'clock Friday night start, 5 o'clock Saturday evening start, for the 2 championship games for our teams here in the Charlotte metro area. All right, so we have reached that time of the show. It is time for predictions. And we only got 2 of them. So let's go down the line. I think I already know what everyone's going to say. Vance versus Roseville, producer. Oh, I got you. My bad.
God.
I'm going to go with Vance.
All right. Illustrious.
Vance.
OP.
I'm going with Vance.
Josh.
Vance.
All right. So I'll make it a clean sweep. I'm going with Vance also. We will be there. Me and the producer will be there. We'll probably get there right at kickoff because I got other obligations I got to do earlier that day. So because it's 2.5 hours away.
It could have been at UNCC.
Right.
I'll be there in spirit.
Thank you, Illustrious. Appreciate that.
I got a pizza party. Pizza party.
A pizza. Oh, okay.
Hey, my daughter's win. I got yelled at. Oldest was right there when I got yelled at. He saw the text message. I said, "That's why you got that text message."
All right,
my
we'll leave that
daughter's
alone.
the world.
Okay. All right. Oh, we got Engines back. Let me bring him in. All right, what's your Vance Roseville prediction?
You already know those Vance coaches have their brand new suits going, and they're already sizing the rings for their players. Vance by a lot.
Well, hey, you said the same thing our buddy Zayflix said. He said Vance by a lot too. So, Zayflix doing some great highlights, man. Y'all check him out, man. He's gonna be doing the Queen City Senior Bowl, and he does some great stuff, man. All right, Catholic versus Havelock, producer.
Catholic.
Illustrious.
Them Catholic guys.
Engine.
Someone who lost to Havelock twice in the state championship game. I'm going to stay with them boys wearing all black, man. Havelock.
All right. OP.
I'm gonna go with Catholic.
All right. Josh. Josh, still with us?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Catholic. If y'all can hear me.
Catholic. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Catholic if y'all can hear me. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so there it is. Those are the 2 predictions that we have for the games in our area.
Wait, did you pick that game?
Oh, I did not pick that game.
He being safe.
I think this is going to be a great game. I really do. The thing that gets me though, and I've said this before. I think Catholic is going to come in here more battle tested, to your point, Billups, than Havelock. And I think, sometimes when you hit that wall that you haven't hit all season, it creates that adversity. If you haven't never faced it, and you don't know what to do, then it can be a little tough. So I'm gonna go with Charlotte Catholic. Just based on the road that they had to take. Throughout the playoffs. I think they bring it home. Well coached team, and we got to stick with the 704. So there you go. All right. Now it is time, and just a programming note, we're going to end the show a little early tonight. So we're going to talk about the all conference process, and we're going to talk about our camp next week. So we're going to end the show right now with everyone's favorite segment. I'm going to put everybody in the background. Where's my thing at? There it is. All right, so it's that time with everyone's favorite host. Definitely not Pet Man. It's time to slime.
All right, Josh Johnson, just know I'm going to call on you in a minute, man. It's like in class when the teacher says, make sure you know that you're up next. So, Josh, be thinking about who you're going to slime, man. In this segment, we look at what's going on in the world around us, America, the state, the city, and we try to think about some people that if we could metaphorically slime them like the old Nickelodeon show, who are we going after? And since my dog OP is back this week, Coach Powell, who you sliming this week?
I'm not gonna slime anybody this week. I'm gonna just
No. That's not possible. There's a baseball official. There is a wrestling referee. There is somebody that you want to slime. If nobody else, Brandon Billups is always a backup choice to be slimed.
well, honestly, you're right. I would love to slime all of everybody that picked this schedule for athletics. The whole North Carolina High School Athletic Association, I think they did a disservice to the kids and how they set up spring sports, especially for me with wrestling and baseball being at the same time. Most nights I don't get home till 11:30. Tonight is an early night. We finished up a little early, but most of the times I'm getting home late at night. I'm doing 2 practices a day with 2 games a week and with 2 wrestling matches. So 5 days a week, I'm busy. I'm at the school at least 7 days a week, washing clothes and getting ready for a game. I just don't think that y'all did it right for some schools that have coaches that got to pull double duty.
Wow, shout out to you, man, Coach Powell. Shout out to all the coaches who are pulling double duty, those wrestling coaches, those track coaches, those baseball coaches that are all going on right now, man. You're right. You've got fields to get ready for. You've got wrestling matches to get ready for. You got dudes stopping by your classroom trying to get their weights going on. Man, shout out, Coach Powell, to all you coaches who are out there grinding the way that you've never grinded, man. Football coaches who went straight into track or wrestling who will go straight into football once again here in a few weeks. Coach Billups, the illustrious, who you sliming tonight?
I don't know where he went.
And that's why Coach Billups is always in the batter's box to be slammed. So we're going to go with my man, JJ, man. I've been watching your highlights, man. This dude's a player for Audrey Kell. Josh Johnson, who you sliming tonight, man?
All right. I'm sliming every single coach that voted for all conference. I'm sliming every single one.
All of them?
All of them. It's crazy. I'm sliming all the coaches for all that voted for all conference.
Just slime them all. That's what I'm talking about. Across the board, we're slamming every coach, not just in the conference, man. We're slamming every coach in the state, in the nation. My man Josh bringing it. Producer Brandon, aka the Alternator. What you got?
All right, so I got to slime the Panthers GM, Scott Fritter. Now, and the reason it's not going to be a full regulation slime. It's kind of be like a partial slime. It's like a not a whole bucket, because usually we dump the whole bucket of slime. This is going to be more like a cup of slime, like a solo cup full of slime. For him not drafting a safety, You drafted a long snapper, but no safety, and I feel like that was a position of need. The reason why he's not getting a full slime is because overall the draft I felt was good, but you didn't address safety at all. But you got a long snapper in there. But so other than that, I'm satisfied. But just a little bit, just a little couple slime for him. But overall he did all right. So he's not gonna get the full brunt of it.
Producer Brandon, this is why I love you, man. There ain't nobody in the world who has ever slammed this Panthers organization for not drafting enough defensive players. God, no. Oh, man, I love it. Pep, who we slamming tonight?
Man, I just got this email, and I got to slime the NCHSAA, man. I mean, I appreciate them approving, the championship credential, so we'll be there. But the email that I got just says there will not be a media meal or food available in the media area this year due to COVID. I mean, good gracious, man. We already driving, 2.5 hours. And by the time we get there, I ain't going to have time to stop and get no good food like we always do from somewhere. And now we can't eat at the game. The championship highlight that when Harding won, when we were there, we were able to I'm almost embarrassed to share this. We were able to sneak into an unauthorized media area and eat some really good barbecue that wasn't meant for media. But, the door was open, and me and Brandon, we didn't know. We just went in there and started eating barbecue. And, the guys we were with at the time came back with, this cheap-looking pizza. They were like, where y'all get that? And we said, we just went in there and got it. And they were like, it wasn't for media. I said, well, look, it was open. So, hey, NCHSAA, come on, man. Give us some Bojangles, like one of your sponsors. I mean, y'all got 18 different sponsors, man. Just throw us some chicken, sit it on the side somewhere. We can socially distance and eat some food and be okay, man. But now we're going to be hungry the whole dang on game. And I'm not a very, very patient and happy man when I'm hungry. So, there you go. There's your slime.
Everybody knows that if you are a coach or a media personality not playing in the state championship game, there's one reason and one reason only to go, and that's the hospitality suite. The barbecue, the chicken wings. Good night, Pep. I would be hot too, man. Don't they know? Not only are you driving 2.5 hours, but now you're going to be hangry watching this game, man. There's one thing my wife knows. Don't let me get hangry. They don't get pretty for my 2 little 7-year-old boys. Speaking of being hangry, a couple of weeks ago, I talked about this fool named Michael from True Green who showed up at my house in the middle of the day talking to my wife, talking about, do you know you got some weeds in your yard? Do you know you got some clover in your yard? Do you know that if you hire us, we can get rid of those weeds and clovers? And Michael's punk butt self didn't know that I just put down some fertilizer that 2 days earlier. I just put down some weed killer 2 days earlier. And just so you know, Michael, my grass looks like a big green carpet right now. Good night. I just mowed it before the show started. I had big double stripes going at 90-degree angles north and south, and then I turned it around and I made 2 big stripes going east to west. And then even though it was raining, I was rolling around in the yard doing freaking grass angels out there. My wife came out. Now it's my 21-year anniversary since me and my wife went on our first date. And she said, babe, what are you doing? I said, girl, this is the greatest thing that's happened to me in the last 21 years. I'm out here on this beautiful, lush grass. Well, yesterday, some other knucklehead came knocking on my door at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You see, they do it because they know the man of the house ain't around at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm listening on my little Ring doorbell app, and I hear him say, hey, ma'am, do you have anybody that shoots your mosquitoes, that kills your ants or your termites? And my wife said, actually, we do. We use Acme Pest Control. Acme Pest Control. Shout out Mike Horton, dad to Elijah Horton, stud athlete at Central Cabarrus High School. And he said, oh, really? Well, do they do this? And Maggie says, yeah, they do that. And do they do this? And Maggie said, yeah, they do that. And are you happy with them? And Maggie says, we love Acme Pest Control. My husband loves Acme Pest Control. Well, how much does Acme Pest Control charge? So my wife tells them, this fool then says, well, we'll do it for $15 more in application than what Acme Pest Control. Now, this goes on for 20 minutes. Finally, my wife shuts the door. But as she's shutting the door, you hear the guy say, what time does your husband get home? And my wife says he doesn't get home until 5:30. But I don't know why you're asking me that. And the guy says, I'll be back at 8:30 tonight to talk to your husband. And then, that fool had the audacity to show up at my door last night, pitch black, knocking on the door. Now, obviously, he grew up in a different part of town than what I grew up on. Where I grew up, you don't be knocking on people's door when it gets nighttime because there's only one person that comes to your door after dark, and it ain't the good people. So let me tell you, whoever you are, from wherever you are, because my wife was smart enough, she didn't even want to get your name or where you're from. Just know this, if you knock on my door and you're trying to sell me something, nah, we ain't playing that in the McClamrock household. Don't come knocking on my door. That is a surefire bet. You will not get my business.
Good night, everybody.